Good morning, children. Welcome back to our math session. Today's topic is Introduction Part 2 and Exercise 13.2 of Chapter 13 Direct and Inverse Proportion. So let me start. Now let's see our next topic, that is inverse proportion. Let us now talk about inverse proportion. Okay. So the name itself tells something which is exactly inverse of what we have learned in direct proportion. Right? So here you see a birthday cake for a birthday party. Okay. Now let's say that 8 of your friends reach you at your birthday party and now you need to give them cake, isn't it? So what do? You divide this cake into 8 equal slices, right? And give each slice of cake to each of them. Okay, right. But let's say that you expected, you invited a lot of friends. Instead of 8, some 16 friends arrived at the party. So what will you do? Because you still have just one birthday cake, right? You are having only one cake. So what do you do this time? You divide the cake into 16 equal slices so that you can give one slice to each, right? Now in this case, you notice that in case 2, the number of people increased as well as what happened? The size of the each slices decreased, isn't it? So right now, each slice is small, whereas in the previous case, each slice was bigger, right? In case 1, only 8 people were there. That time, the size of the slice was bigger than the second case, right? So this shows that the size of the slice is inversely proportionate to the number of kids, right? So as the number of people increases, the size of the slice decreases, right? So this is an inverse proportion. Let's take another example. Let's say that after decorate your room, a room for your friend's birthday. Now there are 3 scenarios are here. In the first case, first scenario, you do it alone. So you do all decoration alone and it takes you 2 hours to complete the work. Okay? In the second scenario, you take help of another friend and 2 of you do it together. And it takes you 1 hour to complete the work. In the third scenario, you call few other friends and 4 of you together do it. And that time you take 15 to 20 minutes for the same decoration. So what are these shows? This shows that when the number of people involved or the number of people working for the decoration that increases, then the time taken to decorate decreases, right? So here also the time taken is inversely proportionate to the number of people involved in decoration, isn't it? So these are some examples of inverse proportion. Now, let us talk about speed and time. So we have spoken about distance, time and speed before also, right? But this time we assume that the distance is fixed. Speed and time taken are inversely proportionate to each other. Let's see. That we know that the car has to travel from point A to point B. Means so this is the fixed distance. So if the distance is fixed, how speed and time would vary? Let's say, in first case, the car travels with very high speed. So in this case, the time taken by the car to travel from A to B is very small, some 5 minutes. Okay. So this is our case 1. In case 1, we say that the speed of the car is 24 km per hour and the time taken by the car to travel this distance AB is 5 minutes. 5 minutes means 5 upon 60, that is equal to 1 upon 12 hours. Okay, where a car is traveling with a lesser speed that we can consider as case 2. So this time in case 2, the value of speed is 2 km per hour. Have the speed is lesser. The car is going slowly, therefore the time taken is small. So this time in case 2, the time taken to cover the same distance AB is 1 hour. So what's happening here? In this case, we see that the distance is same, the speed increases, time decreases. The speed decreases, time increases. So there is an inverse proportion relationship between speed and time, provided distance is fixed, right? So looking at this both the cases, what can we say that? We can say that in case 1, the speed into time is equal to, that is 24 into 1 upon 12, that is equal to 2 kilometer. In the speed into distance, that is in case 2 also, speed into distance, that is 2 into 1, that is also 2 kilometer. So basically we see that the value of speed into time is the same in both the cases, right? So this is another example which shows that the speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. As higher the speed, lesser the time, lesser the speed, higher the time, provided distance is fixed. So what is inverse proportion? If two quantities x and y are said to be in inverse proportion if x into y is equal to k. In this case, the ratio doesn't remain constant. Instead of that, the product of the two quantities remain constant. So let us take the same example in case 1. The speed of the car was 24 km per hour and in the case time taken was 1 upon 12 hours. And in case 2, speed of the car was 2 km per hour and the time taken was 1 hour. So what are the two quantities here, speed and time, right? Let us say speed is the variable x and time is y. So in this case, what do we see? The first value that was x1 and y1, second values are x2 and y2. So we very clearly observed that x1, y1 is equal to 24 into 1 upon 12, that is equal to 2 kilometer, and x2, y2 that is equal to 2 into 1, that is also 2 kilometer. So in this case means we see that x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2. If x and y inverse proportion, we can write it as x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2, that is equal to k. So this is the concept of inverse proportion. Clear? Now, let's start question number 1 of exercise 13.2. Which of the following are in inverse proportion? Let's see first question. Here, before starting the question, we know that if two quantities are related in such a way that an increase in one quantity leads to a corresponding proportional decrease in the other, then such a variation is called inverse proportion, right? One quantity is increasing, the same, the other quantity is correspondingly other quantity is decreasing. So let's see. First question is the number of workers on a job and the time to complete the job. As the number of workers increase, the job will take less time to complete, right? Hence, they are inverse proportional. Second one, the time taken to a journey and the distance traveled in a uniform speed. The speed is uniform, same. So, for more time, more distance to travel. Hence, they are not inversely proportional, right? Time is taking more, then journey distance also will more because the speed is in uniform. So, that is not an inverse proportion. Now, third one, area of cultivated land and the crop harvested. More area of land cultivated, more crop should be harvested, right? Hence, they are not inversely proportional. Both are increasing and both are decreasing. So, this is not inversely proportional. Now, fourth one, the time taken for a fixed journey and the speed of the vehicle. If the speed is increased, it will take less time to complete the fixed journey, right? Hence, they are inversely proportional. The population of a country and the area of land per person. If the population of a country increases, then the area of land per person will be decreased, right? So hence they are inversely proportional. So here, which questions are inverse proportion? Question number 1, then question number 4 and question number 5. 1, 4 and 5 are inversely proportionate. Okay? Question. In a television game show, the prize money of rupees 1 lakh is to be divided equally among the winners. Complete the following table and find whether the prize money given to an individual winner is directly or inversely proportional to the number of winners. Here number of winners is given 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10 or 20, right? So if it is one winner, the prize money would be 1 lakh. If it is two winners, that would be 50,000. Now we have to find if it is four winners, then how much money should be distributed among the winners. Like as 5, 8, 10 and 20. Okay. So let's see the answer. Here we can take the blank space as A, B, C, D and E. Okay. So we observe that 1 into 1 lakh, that is equal to 1 lakh. The same way 2 into 50,000, that is also 1 lakh. So both the sides means both the cases are equal. So we can say that it is inversely proportional. The product is equal. X1 into Y1 is equal to X2 into Y2. Okay. So hence they are inversely proportional. So first case we can take 2 into 50,000, that is equal to 4 into A. So cross multiply 2 into 50,000 divided by 4 is equal to 25,000. Same way next B we want to take, right? So 2 into 50,000 divided by 5, that is equal to 20,000. Same way 8 members, then 2 into 50,000 divided by 8, that is equal to 12,500. Same way 2 into 50,000 divided by 10, that is equal to 10,000. Same 2 into 50,000 divided by 20, that is equal to 5,000. So the required table is 1. If one winner is there, then 1 lakh. Two winners are there, then 50,000 each. Four winners are there, 25,000 each. If five winners are there, then 20,000 each. Eight winners are there, then 12,500 each will get. 10 winners are there, then 10,000 will get. 20 winners are then 5,000 each will get. So from this we can understand that the number of winners are increasing, at the same time the prize money is going to decrease. So that is why it is an inverse proportion, right? Question number 3. Rahman is making a wheel using spokes. He wants to fix equal spokes in such a way that the angles between any pair of consecutive spokes are equal. Help him by completing the following table. So we can see that the number of spokes are increasing, then the angle between the spokes will be decreased, right? So let's see the table that is given number of spokes. If it is 4 spokes are there, then angle between the pair of consecutive spokes should be 90 degrees. If 6 wheels are there, 6 spokes are there, then 60 degrees. Then how could we find 8, 10 or 12 spokes are there? Let's see. So here first question it is given, are the number of spokes and the angle formed between the pairs of consecutive spokes are inverse proportion or not? So from the above table we can observe that 4 into 90, that is equal to 360. The same way 6 into 60, that is equal to 360. So the product of x1 y1 and x2 y2 are equal. So that is why we can say that the two quantities are inversely proportional. Now we can take the blank spaces by denoted by A, B and C. So first one 4 into 90 is equal to 8 into A. So that is equal to A is equal to 4 into 90 upon 8, that is equal to 45 degree. B is equal to 4 into 90 upon 10, that is equal to 36 degree. C is equal to 4 into 90 upon 12, that is equal to 30 degree. So we got the angles in between the three blanks, that is 45 degrees. Now continuation of question number 3. Here first we can see the table we have completed, that is if it is 8 spokes are there, then angle between the pair should be 45 degree. If 10 spokes are there, then 36 degree. If it is 12, then 30 degree each, right? So what is the second question? If the number of spokes is 15, then what would be the angle? So 4 into 90, that is equal to 15 into x. So x is equal to 4 into 90 upon 15, that is equal to 24 degree. If 15 spokes are there, then the angle between the spokes will be 24 degree. Now question number 3 is, if the angle between two consecutive spokes is 40 degree, then how many spokes are there. Number of spokes we have to find, that we can put as y. So 4 into 90 degrees equal to y into 40 degrees. So y is equal to 4 into 90 upon 40. So 4 will cut, 0 will cut. So what is remaining there? 9. So how many spokes are there? The required number of spokes is 9. Clear? Now question number 4. If a box of sweets is divided among 24 children, they will get 5 sweets each. How many would get each if the number of the children is decreased by 4? First, we can see the table. What are the things are given that we can put in on that table. So, number of children 24, then number of seats should be 5. Means if 24 children are there, then each child will get 5 seats. Okay. Now, if the number of children are reduced by 4, that means 24 minus 4, that is equal to 20. Then, how many seats each child will get? Okay. Here we observe that on increasing the number of children, number of seats got by each child be less, right? So they are inversely proportional. So here what formula we can use? X1 Y1 is equal to X2 Y2. So here what is X1? X1 is 24, Y1 is 5, X2 is 20 and Y1 we are taken as A. So we can solve it 24 into 5, that is equal to 20 into A. So A is equal to 24 into 5 upon 20. So 5 in 20, 4 times, 4 in 24, 6 times. So what is the answer? A is equal to 6, means the required number of seats is 6. So if the number of children is 20, then each child will get 6 sweets, right? Okay. Now question number 5. A farmer has enough food to feed 20 animals in his cattle for 6 days. How long would the food last if there are 10 more animals in his cattle? So here let's see the table. Number of animals. If it is 20, then number of days, 6 days can give the food. If the number of animals is increased by 10, means 20 plus 10, that should be 30, then how many days the food can be last? Okay, so here the required number, means here also we can see that the number of animals increasing means the number of days will goes to decrease, so that is why it is inversely proportional. So the required number of days we can take as P. So here formula x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2, means the product of x and y, that is equal. X1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. So here x1 is 20, y1 is 6, x2 is 30 and y1 we have taken p. So p is equal to 20 into 6 divided by 30. So 6 in 30, 5 times, 5 in 20, 4 times. So hence the required number of days is equal to 4. Now question number 6. A contractor estimates that 3 persons could rewire Jasminder's house in 4 days. If he uses 4 persons instead of 3, how long should they take to complete the job? Here we know that the persons are increasing, then number of days will decrease. So both are inversely proportionate, right? So let's see the table. Number of person, if it is 3, then number of days 4. If number of person is 4, then how much days are required? That we can put as a K. So the required number of days can be K. So x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. So 3 into 4 is equal to 4 into K. So 3 into 4 upon 4. 4 will cancel. So 3 days are remaining there. So the required number of days is 3. Now question number 7. A batch of boxes was packed in 25 boxes in 12 bottles in each box. If the same batch is packed using 20 bottles in each box, how many boxes would be filled? So here we can see the box, number of boxes and number of bottles per box. So if it is 25 boxes, then number of bottles per box is 12. If number of bottles per box is 20, then number of how many boxes are there, that we have to find. Let be that as X. Here also we can see that one is increasing and the other one is decreasing. So it is inversely proportional. So let the required number of boxes be x. So formula x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. So 25 into 12 is equal to x into 20. So x is equal to 25 into 12 upon 20. So 25 into 20 by 5 we can cut 5 5 are 25, 5 4 are 20. 4 in 12 is 3. So 3 5 are 15. X is equal to 15. So the required number of boxes is 15. Now question number 8. A factory requires 42 machines to produce a given number of articles in 63 days. How many machines would be required to produce the same number of articles in 54 days? So first let's see the table. Here number of machines, that is 42, and number of days 63. If 54 days are there, then how many number of machines can be produced? That is the question. Okay. So we can see that number of machines, number of days are decreasing, then number of machines will increase. Okay. So that is why it is inverse proportion. So let's see. Let the required number of machines be x. So what is the formula? The formula will be x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2, right? So 42 into 63, that is equal to x into 54. So what should be x? X is equal to 42 into 63 upon 54. Now in 54 and 63 we can cut it by 9. So 9 6 they are 54, 9 7 they are 63. Now from 6 we can cancel 42. How many times? 7 times. Now what is remaining there? 7 and 7, right? So 7 into 7 is equal to 49. So the required number of machines is 49. Now question number 9. A car takes 2 hours to reach a destination by traveling at a speed of 60 km per hour. How long will it take when the car travels at the speed of 80 km per hour? So first see the table. Speed in kilometer per hour and time in hour is given there. So 60 km per hour will take 2 hours. Okay, so if the speed of the car is 80 km per hour, then what should be the time? Okay, so here also we can see that the speed is increasing, then time will decrease. So it is an inverse proportion. So let's see. Let the required times be x hours. Okay, so what is the formula? X1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. So here 60 into 2 is equal to 80 into x. So x is equal to 60 into 2 upon 80. 0, 0 will cut. 2 in 8 4 times. Now we can cut 6 and 8 by 2. So 3 2 jar 6, 2 2 jar 4. 3 by 2, that is equal to 1.5 hours. 1 by 2 means 1 hour 30 minutes. So the required time will be 1.5 hours. Now question number 10. Two-person could fit new windows in a house in 3 days. Here two questions are there. Let's see the first one. One of the people fell ill before the work started. How long would the job take now? Here the second question is how many persons would be needed to fit the windows in 1 day? Okay. So in the table you can see that we are taking both the questions together. So number of persons first, if two people are there, then number of days 3. And one person is having ill, right? That is given in the question. So that means now only one person is there. 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. So if only one person is there, then how many days are required? That we are given x. The same way it is given 1 day is only 1 day they are working, then how many persons are required? Yeah, how many people are required? That we can give as y, right? So first question, let's see. The required number of days be x. Then x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. Here 2 into 3 is equal to 1 into x. 1 into x means x. 2 into 3 6. So x is equal to 6, and hence the required number of days is 6, right? Now let's see the second one. Same question, second. Let the required number of person be y. Then formula should be same. X1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. So here 2 into 3 is equal to y into 1. So y into 1 is y. 2 3 just 6. So here or here also the required number of persons will be 6. Okay, means number of persons 1, then number of days how much? 6. If number of days 6, then how many persons are required? 1 itself. Now let's see the last question. That is question number 11. A school has 8 periods a day, each of 45 minutes duration. How long would each period be if the school has 9 periods a day? Assuming the number of school hours to be the same. Okay. So first see the table. Here number of periods. If it is 8 periods, then duration of period in minutes, that is 45 minutes. Okay. So if the number of period is 9, then what should be the duration of the period in minutes? That we have to find, that we can put as x. So here also we can see that the variable, the quantities are, one is going increasing and the other will come decreasing. So that is why it is inverse proportion. Okay. So let's see. Let the required duration of each period be x. So x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. Here 8 into 45 is equal to 9 into x. So x is equal to 8 into 45 upon 9. So 9 in 45, how many times? 5 times. So 8 5 are 40. So what is the answer? 40 minutes. Hence the required duration of period is equal to 40 minutes. Here we are winding up this session. Okay. So we have completed exercise 13.2, all questions. You have to note down all the questions in your notebook. We have completed the lesson also. Okay. Thank you.